Hi guys, this is Jacqui Cooper from Jacqui Cooper Travels, and today I am really excited because we are traveling over to Scotland today, and Caroline is here. She and I connected on LinkedIn as well as on Facebook, and we have a lot of mutual interests. We really love traveling. We love doing, a variety of things to help our communities, and actually Caroline's business is one, and her whole story is really inspiring. Caroline, thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing?
I'm great, Jackie. Thanks for having me as well.
So why don't you share with the listeners and as well on the podcast as well as the viewers on YouTube what your business is and how you actually came to be in that industry, because it's a really cool story.
So I have my own business called Nell Recruitment. So I recruit in the hospitality industry, and I concentrate and focus on Scotland. As you can hear from my dulcet tones, I'm very Scottish. I love recruiting in that sector. I love dealing with all the hotels and beautiful surroundings, looking onto the lochs, and some of the loveliest people I've ever met and known work in hospitality. And they just seem to genuinely care about giving the guests that experience.
So how did you get into the hospitality industry?
I fell into it. I really did. I actually started off in financial recruitment, and then I got the opportunity, and I need to feel passionate about something, and I just fell in love with it. I love speaking with chefs, because chefs have got some of the funniest personalities, real characters, and then front of house, as I say, just really great people. They love speaking to people. I love the whole customer service side of it as well.
So how do you get the bed and breakfasts or the locations that you help? How do you reach out to them? Do they reach out to you? How do you connect with them before we get into how you're helping provide staffing for them?
Well, I've been doing this now, so about over 4 years in hospitality recruitment. I have concentrated on the more out of town, sort of more luxury boutique hotels, restaurant with rooms. That seems to work well with my skill set and the candidates that I can provide for them. I reach out to them, I visit them, but more often through LinkedIn, I also get approached, and I have. People have got to know me, they got to know how I work. So yes, I've been approached and asked, how do you work? How can we work together?
So I was fascinated when you were talking about the type of corporate or hospitality clients that you have. Do you go out and scout them, or is it in your local area? Is it all over Scotland? Tell us a little bit more about that.
It's actually out with more my local area, so it's definitely out in the country. I'm what's known as a Glaswegian, so I'm based near the city of Glasgow. So I think I love that escapism of dealing with clients that basically are out with the cities. So I love the ones that's beside lochs, like up at Loch Lomond and going up into the beautiful Highlands of Scotland, which I've definitely got an absolute passion about the Highlands, going on to the beautiful islands, Isle of Skye, and then over across into sort of Aberdeenshire as well. So that seems to be where my focus is and where I'm successful, but it's because I've got a passion for it as well, for the outdoors and the beautiful landscapes.
So I put up one of the pictures you sent me. Where is this picture?
So this is beautiful Loch Lomond. Obviously, we've got the amazing song, but I won't sing for you today. This voice doesn't have a very good singing voice at all. Yes, this is just 40 minutes from where I live. So really handy, really beautiful location. You've got the hills. That's a small beach area that I'm on. So yes, it's lovely. Very popular with tourists.
So So who are the candidates that you, that reach out to you? What's the variety of candidates that you help place in the various, the locations?
Well, the other thing I love about hospitality is it's so diverse and really inclusive as well, which I absolutely love that. I mean, nearly half of the people that work in hospitality are from out with the UK, and it's fabulous. They really embrace that Scottish lifestyle as well. So I look for that. Someone that's willing to embrace the Scottish lifestyle, someone that is outdoorsy and really enjoys that. So if they're a gym buff, which fantastic, it's not going to work. There's not any sort of big fancy gyms nearby. Some of the hotels may have in-house gyms, so that can work, but they do need to have a passion for the outdoors, because you could be living there as well. So you're living and working with the team. So you need to be able to fit in. And I do find that some of the teams, they actually go out swimming together. They maybe get into hill walking together. So it's a brilliant lifestyle change for somebody. So that's the type of candidates that I would, and I really have that sort of discussion with them as well, and make sure that they could be isolated, they could be away from family and friends.
I know you and I talked about how different chefs really like this type of community. Do you want to explain more why you know the chefs appreciate the naturalness of the Scottish community and the foods that they choose?
Yeah, well, I think the clients I deal with and the fantastic chefs, basically they really, again, they want to embrace the lifestyle, but they want this direct access to fresh produce. So a lot of these restaurants are right on the loch or right on the coast. So they're getting fresh produce because of the land. They've probably got close proximity to farms. And then many of them have their own kitchen gardens. So it's direct produce as well. I mean, I've got a fantastic client on the Isle of Skye, and they train their chefs from seeing the animal at the farm and then taking it to the plate. So they learn the full process, and I think that makes a really sort of knowledgeable chef and a real sort of well-rounded experience.
I think it's very, very special what you're doing. I know that people, you know, definitely in the current environment also are looking for different jobs. They're moving around. Granted, with COVID, we might be kind of stuck sometimes, but I know personally, I like to travel. And so, you know, if I was in the type of profession where I could pick up and just go and experience the country and actually live and work, so actually that brings up another question. You probably might have the information, but if you are from out of Scotland and you want to come and to work, is there like a special work visa that they get, or how does that, you know, how difficult is it for them to kind of transition like that?
You do need a work visa, and some of the hotels will assist with that
Yeah.
as well. So it just depends, obviously, where you're coming from. There's a few changes going on with obviously changes in the UK for ourselves as well, but we can help with that. And it can take a wee bit of time, but it's been done, and we do it.
That sounds great. So I know that you are an avid sports person. And so I know you shared different pictures on where, and you know, to show the beauty of Scotland. So do you want to share a little bit more about, I mean, like when you, I know when I go to Scotland, I've done hiking. I have also done a lot of the tours, you know, going to the castles and, you know, going to some of the other historic areas like Loch Ness and things like that. But why don't you talk from the local perspective of what's, you know, why Scotland is so special to come and visit, and some of the hideaway places that maybe we might not know about?
Yeah, so I'm no athlete, but I love keeping fit. I really do. I love keeping fit outdoors as well because it's more than just exercise for me. It's about the experience. I love the feeling of euphoria I get after I've been open water swimming. And this particular picture, this is a place called Ariseg. So this is about 3.5 hours from Glasgow, and probably this is very close to my heart. The beaches are absolutely stunning. And right now that probably looks really almost tropical.
It does. It really does.
It really wasn't. It was really cold. But it's fabulous. I love it. It's fantastic for your well-being. So it's more than just sort of keeping fit for me. It's just about appreciating what's around you and your local sort of area, what you can appreciate.
So just out of curiosity, in the lochs, what kind of fish or wildlife are there?
So you have in the lochs, it's mainly fish. It's apart from Loch Ness, obviously there's Loch Ness, there's the talk of the old monster. But the lochs, obviously, you've got your fish, and then obviously out here at Ariseg, we were lucky enough to see seals.
Oh wow!
Well, yes, and you also, I've never seen them, but there's dolphins.
Wow!
We've seen some of the boat trips as well, but I've never been lucky enough to see one as well. And then most recently, close to Glasgow, we had whales that actually visited up at Gairloch. Which is just again about half an hour from Glasgow. So yeah, we've got quite interesting.
So do the whales normally come, or is it just now because things are sort of kind of more quiet?
It could be that. So they came right into Gairloch, and there had to be an operation to try and move them out because they were coming into shallow water. So it was quite an event as well. So
wow, that's amazing. So where's this?
So this is called the Singing Sands, which is in a place called, now I hope I say this right, Arnamarkin. This is quite remote. So to get to this beach, you actually have to walk for nearly, God, how many? It was nearly 5 kilometres.
Wow.
Really one of the most beautiful walks I highly recommend. It's through a beautiful coastline, and then you go through a real ancient pine forest, and then it opens up at the very end to this beautiful beach. So you can't drive to it. You only can walk, or you can bring a boat in. So there was only ourselves, and there was one other person on that beach, and that was just back in July. So I'd had a quick swim. And as I'm always full of sort of positivity afterwards, I tried to do a handstand.
You know what, the way you were describing it, I can picture it in my head. And, I sort of think that would be something that you would see in a movie, just in terms of the description and everything. That's very cool. And then where do we have here?
So this is Loch Conch, Chon. So say Con. This is close to the beautiful town of Aberfoyle as well. And this is about just over an hour from Glasgow. Really peaceful, really tranquil, beautiful forest. One of my favourite places to swim. I really, really love it. It's a really sheltered bay. Also excellent for paddleboarding as well because it's so sheltered, and you can see that obviously the water's quite still. So I love to swim there. So I'll be looking forward to getting back up there.
So I'm curious about the water and the quality of the water. Is there, it looks so beautiful. Any pollution, or is it, pretty clean and, you don't have to worry about any of that?
Yeah, I would say here where I am, the water was crystal clear. It was beautiful. You can see right down to the bottom. So no, and you can see round about that there's definitely no pollution as well. And the water quality is checked. I don't know as much about that, but I do know there is real. They look into where swimming locations, they're trying to develop almost like swimming locations in Scotland so that you can swim safely as well.
I'm super impressed because we don't have that same ability sometimes in America. Some of our bodies of water that we used to be able to swim in now are not always as clean. So that's another reason why, coming to Scotland is really special, because the freedom to be able to bike and then to pop in and swim, you have a lot of variety. So that's really great. I know how, if someone was listening to our podcast or watching the YouTube and they are interested in doing a transition and coming to Scotland to work, how would they do that? Would they just approach you, or what's the process?
Yeah, no problem. Have a chat. I'm more than happy to speak to people. Love pick up the phone, have a video call. It's no problem to just approach me. And just even if it's just a thought in your head, I could sort of speak to you about what could be open to you as well.
Is it difficult to transition with an entire family, or is it better for, is it easier? Obviously it's easier for singles, but I mean, if they did have a family, how is that a possibility?
It is a possibility. It's that what you have got is usually may have to find your own accommodation, because a lot of them they will not have the insurance for a family being in their staff accommodation. So staff accommodation will maybe stretch to couples. And there is some places, restaurant with rooms, that actually look for couples that's maybe both in hospitality so that they can work together. So I do know of families that's moved within Scotland from maybe the south up into the Highlands, and the full family has been put in a cottage. So that's sort of perfect, but not shared accommodation, not any kind of, if it was flats or anything like that. But yeah, no, it's a possibility.
That's great. That's really great information. So for those that are listening, there's always a block of information under the podcast and also on the YouTube side. And I'll definitely have Carolyn's contact information. I will also have, because I have access to I Go for Less, which is a wholesale free member only travel portal where you can get discounts up to 35%. I'll have my link there so that way you guys can activate it and check out various places to come and enjoy Scotland and to save on a variety of things, from hotels to excursions. Talking about excursions and experiences, I know, Carolyn, you had, we had talked about a future type of business idea that you are in the process of developing. Do you want to share a little bit more about it? Because I think it's really cool.
Yeah, again, it comes about, I need to feel passionate about something. So I do feel passionate about my outdoor exercise and experiences, but I would love to, a perfect Scottish sort of break for me is being out in the Scottish outdoors all day, regardless of weather. You need to I just embrace it. I've been out in storms and I've been hill walking in storms. You just need to embrace it. You just need to dress for it as well. So either out hiking, cycling or swimming, coming back to that real sort of Scottish cosy ambience, really good food, nice glass of wine. I love that feeling. I feel you appreciate it more, and because you get that feeling like, I deserve this. So yes, I'm looking at, there's so many experiences like you mentioned, going to see the castles and all that, and it's fantastic. But I would love to bring in that sort of outdoor activities with that touch of luxury as well, just that whole experience. And really for people's well-being as well, it's more than exercise, and I really do believe that it's about sort of giving people good well-being, and I believe more than anything that people are going to be craving these experiences as well.
And I know that it's really important that we support the local culture and the local community. So, as an individual in the travel space, I would also ask that those that are listening, that when you do plan and decide to go to Scotland or any other location, definitely buy local, support the locals, because and really think about whether you're booking with a local individual versus a larger conglomerate, because again, even within the larger corporations, they hire the locals, but there are a lot of local shops and artisans and cafes that really need our support right now. So when you travel, wherever we go, let's always think about how to support, the community. So Carolyn, any last minute thoughts? I know that, you and I have talked about doing other podcasts about the locations that you're visiting because the scenery is just gorgeous. But any last minute thoughts that you want to share for those that might have an interest in what you're doing?
Yeah, get in touch, talk to me. I'm more than happy to advise people where to go swimming, where to go paddle boarding, and discuss entry points of swimming and equipment needed as well, and where you could maybe get that equipment, because it's quite hard to bring over. If you're flying over from America, it's quite hard to suddenly pack a wetsuit or pack an inflatable paddle board. So no, more than happy to help out where you can actually get this equipment as well.
Yep. And connected with that, when you're deciding if you're planning a trip over, Carolyn can also tell you what places that she has worked with, the luxury locations, the little bed and breakfasts and other places. So that way those institutions, and institution sounds like a big place, but those places can actually be supported and continue to exist, because again, if we all help each other, then we're all able to continue to enjoy, these various locations. So thank you so much, Carolyn, for being on. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great speaking with you.